early act.
Okay, Emily, guardian angel of the Strait. Do you like the ring of that?
I love the ring of it. I think the important question is whether it's successful. Look, I think a lot of Americans feel a measure of exhaustion about this and in the details. And the question everyone is asking is, what is success? And when can we breathe easily that gas prices are stable, oil prices are stable, and that our troops are safe, that the commander-in-chief is secure also in his safety, as he's talked about the 18th assassination plot against him. So we are now privy to a media coverage that gives us details and play-by-plays every day and every hour. Now we're in the third night in a row that American forces are striking Iran, deservedly so. But I know many Americans think, essentially, why are we negotiating? Why are we negotiating with terrorists here? So a lot of people support, clearly there's a ton of economic options and military options that remain. And I think many people support a lot of these military options so that it can be finally done. That's right. And Jesse, people are saying, why are we negotiating with these people? But the thing is, wasn't that baked into the negotiations originally? They had to make these touchstones. They had to move along and they had to meet the demands of the United States to get the agreement. So this is what the Hawk said, let's go in and finish the job. And then the people who wanted to make the deal said, look, if they don't agree to what we're proposing here, then we're going to have to hit them again. That's what's happening. Everyone knew this was going to happen. That's why they structured the deal like.
No. We knew this was going to happen because we knew that you weren't going to let Iran have control. We all knew that President Trump was going to let Iran have control of the Strait. Like, we just knew what it was. Like, we all were hoping, we were praying on it. We were like, you know what, man, let's let it go. Just hopefully God let Trump let it go. Let him tuck his ego just for one time in his effing life, you know, by your grace, because it ain't gonna be by his self-control. But yeah, if you could just do that for us one good time. I know I was praying, I really was, but in back of my head, I just knew, I was like, yeah, he's gonna attack these guys just for even trying to show control of the Strait. He's just not gonna accept that. And if the Democrats won't let it down, America First guys won't let him live it down. So he's gonna go all out.
That. And they violated it. They said they wouldn't clip tankers. They wouldn't toll. They did both. So for the last 3 nights, it's been more than a love tap. Trump's been calling it a bitch slap. Heavy airstrikes all along the southern coastline. And the president, I think, has run out of patience. He gave peace a chance. They violated the terms of the sheet they signed.
No, actually, we violated the terms of the sheet they signed because Iran, yeah, guess what? We agreed not to attack each other. So who attacked who first? Because remember, when Iran shot that drone in the Strait, it was a Singapore vessel. And then there was another one from Cyprus. And now you can't sit there and say that those are American assets. Now, pretty much Trump struck Iran over assets that wasn't even ours. Do you see the problem here? So yeah, we pretty much broke the MOU because we agreed that we would not strike each other. Iran striking those vessels is not them striking us. But for some reason, we just have to go out there and strike Iran.
The blockade's back. The sanctions are back.
Yep, all of it.
And I think you're going to see possibly a resumption of major combat operations. We'll see. We still have 2 carriers there. We still have 15 warships there. The southern route along the Oman coast is wide open. It's free under an American security umbrella. Ships are getting out. But what's happened is the decapitation strikes in the first couple weeks of this operation were so devastating. We basically fractured their leadership. So the people that signed this thing, they're just the politicians. The people with the guns, the military, they're seeing their power slipping away if they have peace. And they're seeing their money dry up. So they're trying to toll. They're trying to get a little action. But this is
I mean, look here, Jesse. Look, I love it. I love the enthusiasm, dog. I love the positive direction you're going with this. But, dog, it's only been like 2 days since this popped off. Let's give it a little time before we sit here and start calling it a dub. Because that's what we did with Epic Fury. You guys are over here going like, oh, yeah, they're done. I don't know how they're going to come back. Then they come back harder than ever. It's like not only do they close the Strait, but they pretty much decimated some of our military bases or made them inoperable and inhabitable. So, yeah, trust me, I love it. I love it. But let's wait a little bit longer because I'm not going to come out and say that we're completely kicking their teeth in until I find out if these retaliatory strikes actually struck. And also, Are they going to surrender? Are they going to give up because we're doing all of this, or they're going to keep retaliating and using the Houthis as well? Because yeah, that's a problem. And if they get the Houthis to close the Red Sea, I mean, we really got a problem.
Big miscalculation, because Trump has had it.
Harold, how else do you deal with these guys? Did you see their latest, I call it a hit list. They said it's their revenge list. Macron is number one, Starmer and Trump. He listed all three of those, okay? The Iranians did. But Macron and Starmer, they're not exactly hawks. They want to make a deal. They want to be conciliatory. So they want revenge on them as well. How else is Trump supposed to deal with Iran?
Well, as I've said many times and many evenings on the show, the president should stop talking and just start acting. We have been threatening to obliterate them. The president uses all kinds of very strong action verbs on Truth Social to say what he's going to do if they don't do certain things.
I'm going to end the civilization. I'm like, yo. Ah, man, bro, you gotta love that genocidal language sometimes. It's a bit disturbing to hear, but it's just like, oh, damn, man. Look, I'm be real with you. I didn't even know Trump had it in him to say something like that. But once he said it, I was like, okay, yeah, we're going there with Iran. And I'm not going to say that since I heard him say that, oh, yeah, I knew we're going to go and get into full-blown war. But it did make me think, like, I ain't gonna lie, that's your attitude. And you said it. Somebody might have talked him out of it, to be honest. He might have been willing to do it, but somebody talked him out of it. Who knows if that same person's gonna be there to talk him out of it again? And besides, already upping the ante on them. And like I said, what we are being seen right now. Shout out to CENTCOM because they show us stuff. But here's the thing, though. It's not like, the military guys go start pulling out their phones, showing us all the strikes that's happening in Bahrain and Kuwait.
I've been a proponent for, if we're going to engage in negotiations and engage in dialogue with them, we should continue to do this. We should have never stopped doing this. I think we lost some ground over the last several weeks when it was clear that they were violating the memorandum of understanding, and it was clear that the Strait of Hormuz was not fully open. Now, I would remind everybody, several months ago when the president began talking about military strikes, a lot of it, Tom, was because of the economic strife there in Iran. You may recall there was a run on a bank. There were people.
Actually, this is the only report that I got so far. Now, let's see. IRGC claims major hits across Gulf, destroyed fuel tanks, and missile deports at Jordan Air Base while striking a U.S. drone command center in Bahrain. All right, says attacks are retaliation for U.S. strikes on Iran overnight, with more to come. Okay, shout out my guys at RT. And of course, you got it's kind of crazy. You do got videos here. Let me go ahead and show you guys, main screen it for you. All right, so they do got some videos here. Pretty much of the smoke coming out from the airbase in what was this? In Bahrain or Kuwait. Then we got a little bit more. Shout out to the Mossad commentary. I mean, look, bro, you can trust this guy to show you all the damage that's happening in Iran. The U.S. has now destroyed Iran's military bases. At least 500 missiles have been locked and loaded. Here's the problem, a big dog. Here's the problem with Assad. They have underground bases, dude. So us striking on top, I mean, hey, it does damage. I'm not going to sit here and act like it ain't shit. But it ain't enough. It is not enough. Of course, there's more strikes going on. American strikes have heavily reported targets on Baldar Abbas, Qasem, Shirki. Oh, yeah, and I'm not even going to try with this, but just all through Iran. Like, guys, look at this. So, yeah. Now, don't worry, guys. Of course, I'll look for more, but shoot, now let's see. Iran obliterates 5 million in U.S. Hamzar rocket system in Kuwait. Missiles prepared to fire towards Iran also destroyed. U.S. unconfirmed. 3 U.S. troops killed, 7 injured. All right, goddamn. I hope that's fake. I hope that is bullshit. But all right, though, let's go ahead and get right back into it with Fox News. Just have to show you a couple clips that I was able to find. All right, let's get back to it, guys. Oh, you have any question, comment, jokes, or disagreements? Make sure you double tap that. Make sure you super chat in or send a Venmo, guys. Much appreciated. Or you can go ahead and send a gift. Just show some support, and make sure to double tap that screen and like the video and smash that like button, guys.
People out protesting, thousands of people out protesting, and the Iranians were firing on the people. And the president said, our president said, you're not going to fire on those people. We're going to come to help. We started our military operation, and the president that same evening said people in Iran should rise up and take their country back. We are here to be helpful. Iran is the size of a couple Californias. It's not like you couldn't even attack meatpacking district in New York City and tell people on the Upper East Side to rise up. This was not realistic in so many ways. We fast forward, we talked about nuclear material, eliminating their ballistic missile capability, the ability to strike. And then the Strait of Hormuz has now become the primary objective. I hope the president continues to do this, but I hope he gives us a speech, because I think the country needs to understand, and Emily was touching on it in many parts of what she said at the outset. Are we continuing this effort because we want to eliminate their nuclear capabilities? We want to eliminate their ability to fire ballistic missiles. We want to eliminate their ability to fund proxies, or we want the Strait of Hormuz open. It's my hunch now that it's about the Strait of Hormuz, because if you get the Strait of Hormuz open, you're able to calm global markets. You're able to calm prices here in the country. And what we have to realize is that the Iranians, as I've said many times on the show, they read the art of the deal too. They watched the president, and they also have a real good hint that we have elections coming up in November. So they're going to continue to do this, especially if they believe the American people don't fully know what our objective is here. And if they believe the American people might be a little wobbly because gas prices are creeping back up again.
Just to add to that, it's about the Strait of Hormuz, but to also cut off Iran economically, which a lot of the experts we have on the air every day, Dan Hoffman and others, say you've got to choke them off. You've got to choke them off economically. And according to that statement from Central Command, they said these strikes will continue imposing a heavy cost on Iranian forces and degrade their ability to attack innocent civilians and commercial shipping in the Strait. That being said, just looking at oil markets, which now are around the clock, oil up about 9% right now. So that's a pretty big reaction, although still below $80 a barrel, right at about 78 right now. This says gas prices have been coming down. President Trump's efforts, if you've heard him in the past 24 hours, continue to be to instill confidence in the markets that this is going to open, that this will remain open. So to your point, Harold, his focus has and always has been on the Strait of Hormuz. Why?
That's crazy. When I checked it, like, what was it? Like last time I was live, what was it? Yesterday, I was pretty much showing you guys the maritime traffic. And here's the thing, I'm gonna show you it to you again. And yesterday, none of this was here. None of these ships were low-key getting active at all. But here's the weird thing, guys. I mean, the ships, like where all the ships are mostly being seen at, this is pretty much Iran's side right here. And this would be the Oman side where we're telling ships to go through. Like this little part right here. And up here, the northern side is where Iran is controlling. Southern side, Oman controls. Northern side, Iran controls. And it looks like there's a lot of activity up here, especially over here at this port near Iran. Like, I thought there was a blockade, bruv. But all right, let's get back to it.
Fifth of the world's oil supply moves through there. I mean, the world depends on the oil that moves through there and the commercial shipping that moves through there every single day. So this is the fifth round. I don't know. This is the fifth round in a week. We just saw the letter from the White House notifying Congress. This is obviously escalation and additional action on the part of the White House.
I am so much smarter than I was when this segment started.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox.
All right, guys. Hold on. Did this man really say that? Bro, really? Hold on, Hannity. Lindsey Graham didn't love war. He wanted peace. Yo, nigga, you tripping, bro. Hey, nah, you tripping, G. Nah, you tripping. I ain't even gonna watch that. I'm sorry. Oh, my God. I can't believe he said that. Hey, bro. Oh, man, that's hilarious. That's hilarious, bro. This man wanted war with Russia. He wanted war with every Middle Eastern country in the Middle East. I mean, bro, he promoted war any chance he could get. I mean, come on now. Don't be delusional. R.I.P. to the man. Come on.
The U.S. military says it's carrying out more attacks on Iran for the third consecutive night. Explosions have reportedly been heard in Keshem Island, Bushehr, and Bandar Abbas. President Trump says the strikes are targeting Tehran's capabilities related to the Strait of Hormuz. Earlier, Trump announced a new U.S. blockade in the strait would take effect on Tuesday. The U.S. military said ships suspected of passing without authorization will be subject to interception, diversion, and capture. Well, we have correspondents following developments in the United States, Iran, and here in Qatar. First, though, to Mike Hanna at the White House. Mike, so just talk us through what more the U.S. military has been saying about these latest strikes and the targets that they were going after.
Well, CENTCOM Central Command said that it was carrying out strikes for the third successive night. Those strikes appear to still be underway. It says that the targets were facilities associated with Iran's attempts to keep control of the Strait of Hormuz. You're talking about drone facilities, you're talking about Coast Guard operations. These are all the targets that the CENTCOM at least says they were looking at. These are exactly the same targets that it has been carrying out attacks on since this current round of a conflict began.
And meanwhile, Mike, President Trump says he's reimposing a naval blockade in the Strait and charging a 20% tariff on cargo ships in the waterway. And all this as the price of oil is going up.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
Pretty much saying, look, it's like, oh, well, if we're going to be protecting the Strait, we need to go ahead and toll it. It's like, yeah, bro, it's going to be inflationary. And also, yeah, I mean, you're the one who started this war. You're the one who got the Strait closed. Why can't you do it for free? And not like I would want us to do it for free. That's on our tax dollars. But I'm just like, yeah, well, you probably shouldn't have started this problem if you weren't ready to deal with those type of consequences. And I'm pretty sure the world is going to be more pissed off at us if they let us toll the Strait. I mean, think about it. The world didn't want Iran to toll the Strait. That was your main argument. Trump said, well, nobody wants Iran to have a nuclear bomb, and nobody wants Iran to have control of the Strait or toll it. And you're just going to turn around and do that exact thing. You think the world is going to be okay with that? I mean, okay, bro.
Well, that naval blockade is due to start in the course of tomorrow. It's very similar to the previous blockade. But what is different this time is the fact that President Trump says he's going to be getting tolls from vessels passing through that route. Now, this is the southern route, the northern route of the Strait of Hormuz, alongside the coast of Oman. Obviously, Oman does have control over part of that. In fact, some of that route goes through its territorial waters. But here, President Trump is now saying he's going to take these tolls. This despite the fact that only recently his Secretary of State said that to take tolls for vehicles passing through international waterways amounted to contravention of international law. And there's a cost factor involved, too. If President Trump does get his way and charges that 20%, a fully laden oil tanker carrying capacity barrels of oil, that's going to mean another $30 million costs in transport fees, which obviously will be put on the consumer globally. And of course,
yeah, that's going to get passed down right to the consumer. Where else is it going to go? What, you think the oil companies are going to take it to the profit margin? Maybe some of them, but not all of them. Actually, I'm going to be real with you. The problem with oil markets is that these oil companies, that they're not really competitive. They're really not. I mean, OPEC is literally a cartel. Like, let's just be honest. They control oil prices. Nobody can compete with them on it. So trust me, there's not going to be no practice of, oh, well, maybe we'll take it to the profit margin because there's competition out there in the market. Nigga, there is no competition out there in the oil market, to be honest with you. So they're all going to abide by the same standard and pricing.
In the United States, where consumers are already deeply disturbed by this ongoing war, seemingly without end.
All right, Mike Cannon live for us at the White House. Mike, thank you. Let's bring in Tauhid Asadi. He's live in the Iranian capital. Tauhid, so talk us through what the Iranians are saying about the latest U.S. strikes and what Iran says it's hit in response.
Well, it has been yet another night of the continued airstrikes by the Americans in different cities across the Iranian southern coast. And speaking of the
guys, make sure to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. We got over 100 y'all guys watching, so make sure to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Appreciate the support.
Latest, we've got reports about explosions in two important islands of Qeshm and Abu Musa, which are critically important, seeing their geostrategic role and the fact that they are in the vicinity of the Strait of Hormuz. Also, for the first time in the Kish Island, we've got reports about explosions being heard. In addition to that, we've got Bandar Abbas in Hormuzgan province and two other provinces of Khuzestan and Bushehr, in which several cities, including Omidyeh, Kangan, and Jam, are said to be targeted. These are the latest from the Iranian territories. Also, from the Iranian response, I can say that the army came out to say that a U.S. vessel has been targeted. Also, they were talking about attacks on U.S. military bases and assets in Kuwait, saying that a communication center as well as a Patriot system and other U.S. military assets in Kuwait have been targeted. And now the state TV, IRIB, is saying that Jordan, which hosts a U.S. military base there, that military base, according to the report that comes from IRIB, is said to be targeted. The message that we are receiving from the Iranian military is that they are going to continue their retaliatory strikes as long as...
See, that's the problem here. Like, Now we got we got video footage of the strikes and all this good stuff of U.S. strikes. The thing is, though, we ain't got no video footage of the retaliations. Like, were all of them struck down? Most likely not, and most likely some made it through. Like I'm saying, I mean, this is Yemen going to Saudi Arabia, but Yemen was able to actually hit Saudi Arabia. And of course, Saudi Arabia hit back, and you can see that as an Iranian retaliation right there. And it kind of lets us know where things are going. Because, I mean, if Yemen's getting involved, then, I mean, that Red Sea going to be a little hard to use or a little unsafe to use. And then, of course, we got reports of Jordan being hit, Bahrain, Kuwait being hit. I mean, it's just a matter of time until he adds UAE and Saudi Arabia, until they add UAE and Qatar, and then things are really going to get bad
as the American attacks continue.
And Tahi, Donald Trump says he's reimposing a naval blockade on the Strait. How's that likely to affect Iran's economy, and how is Tehran likely to respond to that?
Well, from the day one, when they started to go through the trajectory of diplomacy, they were saying that the U.S. naval blockade, as well as the lifting of the sanctions, are among the key points of concern for the Iranians, seeing that the deteriorated economic situation was there, and they had to deal with that by one way or another. Also, we know that rhetorically speaking, Iran is talking about formulation of their responses. When it comes to practice, also, we know that they have tightened up their measures when it comes to Strait of Hormuz in particular. While the U.S. president was talking about authority, control over the strait, the Iranian side, in particular, Abbas Araghchi, the foreign minister of the country, came out to say that whoever provides safe and secure passage for vessels, for commercial vessels at the strait, is going to be responsible. And that is the Iranian side. Specifically, he said that the Iranian side should be compensated for that. And he said Iran has always been the guardian of the Strait of Hormuz. This is one important aspect. The other important aspect is the military rhetoric that we have been hearing. And that's, then again, we see another line of contradiction. While the U.S. president is talking about the diminished power of the Iranian military, on the other hand, the Iranian side is saying that it is on full preparation for continuing their retaliatory strikes in case of continuation of the American attacks.
Yeah, so the more we attack them, the more they're going to just attack us and attack the Gulf region. And right now, they're just pretty much trying to destroy bases or whatever bases we got left in the region. And I mean, they're pretty much trying to decimate our ability to respond in that region. And I mean, let's be honest with you. I mean, we're like us being able to shoot missiles from those countries. I mean, it sucks, but I mean, trust me, we still got air dominance or, no, I can't say air supremacy because, well, I mean, that's been proven false, but we definitely do got air dominance.
Tawhid Asadi, live for us there in Tehran. Tawhid, thank you. Well, meanwhile, the United Arab Emirates says 2 national tankers have been hit by Iranian strikes. Al Jazeera's Mohammed Val is following developments for us here in Doha. Mo, so the UAE Defense Ministry is saying these 2 tankers were hit in Omani waters. What more are you hearing?
3 hours ago, okay. All right, and this is where things get a little shaky. So now that these vessels are going through Oman's, they're going through Oman's path in the strait, guess what? They're getting struck. They're getting hit. And while America is too busy defending bases and striking Iran, I mean, how are we going to protect these vessels? And if they're already getting hit, and this happened about 3 hours ago, guys, well, what do you think is going to happen? Like, ships are going to stop going through. It's not going to be worth it. And insurance companies are just going to start pulling their policies.
Yeah, that's right. There is a statement from the UAE Ministry of Defense giving some details about this attack, saying that Iran used 2 cruise missiles to hit those 2 tankers. One of them, both tankers, the Mombasa and the Bahia, caught fire because of those strikes, and an Indian crew member on one of them on the Mombasa was killed. 8 others were injured, 6 of them with serious injuries. They include 4 Indian crew members and 2.
Oh, God, like I said, if you have any questions, comments, jokes, or disagreements you want me to read out loud, I'll be happy to do so. Just make sure you send it in the Super Chat or Venmo, guys, or if you're on Rumble, you can do there as well. But don't forget to double tap that screen, like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
Ukrainians The Ministry of Defense described it as a brazen attack and a violation of international law, and saying the United Arab Emirates has the right to defend its assets, and it's going to take the necessary measures to counter those.
Okay, yeah, it says UAE government says attack happened in the southern passage of Hormuz in Oman's territorial waters. Ah, damn.
Actions by the Iranian side. We know that also in Bahrain, sirens have been sounded.
And we also got some confirmed numbers on, well, let's see here. Israeli attacks have killed 73,200 and 3,100 Palestinians since October 2023. And that number will likely get higher.
By the Iranian side. We know that also in Bahrain, sirens have been sounded a while ago, but we don't have details about what happened there, or if there is any impact or an attack. But these are signs of another escalation, and the usual thing that we see, the usual action by the Iranians we see after any American attacks on Iranian soil.
Mohammed Val here in Doha. Mohammed, thank you. Let's bring in Alex Vatanka. He's a senior fellow with the Middle East Institute and specializes in Middle East and regional security affairs. He joins us live from Washington, D.C. Alex, good to have you with us again. So the U.S. military has started these third round of strikes against Iranian targets in the Strait. What impact is this likely to have on the risk of a significant escalation between both sides, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, good to be back with you. Look, I think, just listening to President Trump hours ago, it's not clear where he's going with this. We heard the letter that he sent off to the U.S. Congress telling them that, the ceasefire is effectively over. Is this a tactical maneuver on his part? Is he trying to get Tehran's attention? Does he really want to go back to a full-fledged war? He might want to do that, but the military signs, the logistical support that you need to have that ready to go, they're not necessarily there. So, it could well be that this is just an attempt by U.S. to sort of force Iran to essentially give to the United States what basically Donald Trump's bottom line is, which is an Iranian acceptance that the Strait of Hormuz is going to go back to where it was before the war was launched on Iran on the 28th of February. And the Iranians are very reluctant to do that. That's the bottom line. That's where we are right now. And in the middle of that, you can expect the
I'll be so honest with you. We would not be here right now if honestly, no, we'd probably still be here. To be real with you. If it wasn't going to be over the Strait, it was going to be over Lebanon. I mean, right now we're arguing over the Strait, but let's be real. I mean, like if it wasn't this, it was going to be Lebanon and Israel's refusal to back off of it.
Tit for tat and the escalation continue. But again, let's all remember, neither side really wants to go back to a full-fledged war. And that should give us hopefully some reassurance that maybe they will walk all the way to the brink and then walk away.
Yeah, and President Trump says he's reimposed the naval blockade on Iran's ports in the Strait. Is this likely to change anything in the regime's calculations about those claims over the waterway? Because Iran sees this as an issue of sovereignty and not necessarily a bargaining chip, right?
Yeah, that's Iran's position today, that it has a sovereign right to control the traffic. When the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, was signed effectively on the 17th of June, the Iranians thought that had been achieved. That was not the American understanding of what the MOU was about. And so from get-go, when that MOU was signed, that clause about who controls the Strait, has been in dispute. And you've heard in the last few days open anger being expressed on the Iranian side about the Sultanate of Oman, that Oman essentially, if you believe in the narrative of some folks in Tehran, went against the MOU, went against Iran by agreeing to this southern corridor, effectively opening up the Strait of Hormuz outside of Iran's supervision. This is why we started seeing on the 7th of July, the latest round of ships being attacked by Iran. It's so keen on having, at least symbolically, being accepted as the power that controls the maritime.
Yeah, they're not trying to let it go. That's the problem. It's like, bro, they're literally telling us you're going to have to whoop our ass off the Strait. I'm just like, bro, like, come on. Can't y'all just I don't know, look, we'll let you keep enrichment. Just open up the goddamn Strait, okay? It's like I'm sorry, but if we keep on doing this, guys, we're only going to make things worse. We're going to turn into a full-blown regional conflict. We just don't need those problems right now. And it's pretty much Iran is saying that, well, over their dead body. And I don't like that attitude. I know you don't like it either, but that's the reality. Iran is telling us that you will not take us off the strait. And it's going to be over our dead body. And I mean, if we commit to that, then we'll just say goodbye to the Middle East. That's all we got to sit there and say. Hopefully not. Hopefully I'm wrong. But 9 times out of 10, I'm not.
Traffic in and out of the strait, because from their point of view, this is their most important leverage point, and they're very reluctant to give it up.
Yeah, and Trump's also announced he'll charge a 20% tariff on all cargo shipping passing through the waterway. I mean, Trump was against Iran charging a toll, and now he's doing the very same thing, ironically. What is Trump's thinking, Alex, behind this move? And can he even...
Hey, shout out my man Sid. He's like, dude, did you ever watch Nick Fuentes debate Destiny about Israel on Fresh and Fit? Terrible showing for Destiny. Might be fun to return to work now. Honestly, though, Nick Fuentes did cook the hell out of I hope that's where you're going with it. That's what I seen. I see Nick Fuentes literally cook the hell out of Destiny on that. We might have different views on that, but actually, no, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, pretty much terrible showing for Destiny. Okay, we do agree. Yeah, bro, it was terrible. Bro, I remember actually there was a one time Destiny was supposed to be completely destroyed when he debated Ryan Dawson, but I guess he showed up tired, so he kind of fumbled the bag on that one. But Nick Fuentes, bro, you debate Nick Fuentes on Israel and Israel's influence and politics and how they push us into multiple wars or multiple conflicts in the Middle East. I mean, he's going to cook you on that one. Now, if you get to debating him about race and all this good stuff, I mean, it's going to be pretty easy to cook Nick Fuentes on that because he omits a lot of information.
Force this under international maritime law? That's the question.
But hold on, man. And you know what, F it. We'll play some Nick later on tonight. Oh, don't worry. We're going to go ahead and mix that in there. I mean, if you want to play that Pacific debate, though, let me know. I wouldn't mind going back over that again. That was a fun time in Fresh and Fit history. But back when they was popping, man. Back when Fresh and Fit was popping.